For much of the 20th century, film distribution was dominated by theatrical release. The golden age of Hollywood saw the rise of movie stars and blockbuster hits that drew millions to the box office. The creation of the television in the 1950s introduced a new and innovative way to consume media. What was initially seen as a threat to the film industry instead became one of its greatest synergies. Studios began licensing films for TV broadcast, and the advent of the VHS tape and DVD player opened up an additional revenue stream for direct-to-consumer video sales. The emergence of digital technology and broadband internet fundamentally disrupted this model, and with it, the dominant players. In the year 2000, only 1% of households had broadband internet capability, and that capability of delivering high-quality videos online. By 2023, that number reached 80% of U.S. households. Streaming platforms eliminated the need for theatrical releases and physical distribution, which we know was troubling to the industry. Instead of relying on theater chains or video sales, content could be delivered directly to consumers on demand. This shift lowered barriers to entry and enabled new competitors to challenge traditional studios on a global scale. The result, as we're seeing today, is studios that did not exist in Hollywood's golden age acquiring the ones that did. The injection of disruptors has also forced legacy studios to adapt to that. Netflix's introduction of the first streaming-only model in 2010 forced Paramount, Disney, Warner Brothers, and others to develop their own platforms. 15 years later, nearly all major film and TV studios have their own streaming platforms. Today, digital streaming is a primary method for consumers to use and to develop access to TV and other media content. According to a 2025 Nielsen report, streaming represented nearly 47% of total TV usage and, for the first time ever, outpaced the combined share of broadcast and cable. But as more content becomes fractionalized across multiple streaming services, consumers are growing frustrated. A separate Nielsen survey found that 46% of streaming viewers are finding it difficult to find the content they want to watch because of too many services. A survey by the Motley Fool found that the number is even higher, with 62% of subscribers surveyed believing there are too many options. This is particularly acute in sports broadcasting. Fans who want to watch their favorite sports teams are now having to subscribe to multiple streaming platforms to access each game. This frustration is driven in large part by increased prices. According to the Wall Street Journal, since 2019, prices for the top streaming services has risen an average of 87%. Disney Plus, Apple TV, NBC Peacock have all seen price increases of more than 100% since their creation. Households who subscribe to an average of 4 streaming platforms are quickly seeing their monthly streaming bills equal or surpass their monthly cable bill. As consumer demand for streaming continues to rise, platforms must compete for viewers by offering high-quality content. Netflix, Apple, and Amazon, for example, have made significant investments in movie studios to deliver blockbuster-level movies and award-winning TV straight to consumers. And it appears to be working. Netflix has 18 Oscar nominations in 2025, and Apple TV Pluribus just became the most watched show in the streaming studio's history. But that content does not come without a cost. To make a blockbuster film will now cost the studio more than $200 million. A high-end TV show can easily exceed $10 million per episode. Pluribus cost Apple TV a reported $15 million an episode. As a result, many of these companies operate with negative profit margins for several years before achieving profitability. Netflix is the only platform to maintain consistent profitability since 2022. In other words, the barrier to sustain a competitive streaming service is high. It's no surprise, then, that many of these companies are choosing to buy rather than build their own content. Disney, for example, acquiring 20th Century Fox in 2019. Amazon acquired MGM Studios in 2022. Most recently, Netflix announced an agreement to acquire Warner Brothers Studio. This deal, one of the largest of 2025, would combine two of the top 4 streaming services by global subscriber count. As expected, the reactions to this merger have been mixed, and let me be clear. This hearing is not about picking winners or losers in the merger context. This is for Warner Brothers shareholders. Today, we're here to start a much-needed conversation about whether further consolidation in the streaming industry would be helpful or harmful to consumers. Economic theory teaches us that mergers create efficiencies, and that's no different when it comes to the streaming industry. By vertically integrating content production and distribution, platforms can eliminate and also work on lowering redundancies and focus on delivering high-quality content to consumers at lower prices. Some will argue that eliminating a rival will hurt competition or further entrench a dominant player. Others may say it will harm or already distressed theatrical film industry. We should take all of those concerns very seriously. But I would remind colleagues that the antitrust law is meant to protect consumers by promoting competition, and any potential harm should always be weighed against consumer benefit. And a merger that results in greater choice in video libraries at lower prices is welcome, while delivering to consumers a solution to their current frustration with the fractionalized streaming content. And it does not strike me, certainly I think, and many of the other members, as a merger, we should initially be concerned with a look at the entire entity of what's being promised. I want to thank our witnesses for being here with us today, and I look forward to your testimony.